aro tlasche da shedo look at the ne e da shinale twitch al adahne Wheatfields, Arizona, ada e gisi na shadow ad e shmahodlo e dahnal so da halnido ado troha en twachdo llachit des abasha benist aki kwa e ashit the nedo ki anid nen khata hol ay kwa dan ki gana ko ha en trago ashit the net an llnigi yoda gino patla de shnitla a ko ha en trago ado in shihagi e Zane James. I will be your MC this morning. My name is Zane James. I originally come from a small little community north of here, about 55 miles, a place called Wheatfields, Arizona. My maternal grandmother raised 13 children there, and my mother is the second oldest of the 13. Also, my late father, was from that area as well. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us again. The third and final day of competition for the two beautiful young ladies that have really vied to become the new Goodwill Ambassador of the Navajo Nation. So again, thank you. I appreciate it. We're going to start with an opening from current Miss Navajo 2022-23, Valentina Klitso. Let's give her a round of applause. She's done a wonderful, phenomenal job up to this point, representing the Navajo Nation, being the Goodwill Ambassador, and her working with Carletta Benali with the staff of the Office of Miss Navajo have done a great job of putting together this event. Miss Navajo, come on up. She'll do a brief welcome address, and then we'll start with a prayer thereafter.
Oh, yeah, the bini ano tolkwagi na hano yahi ilahasi loshik ada no lini do na hano khay lotin zade la khay ko you see ba hele ano tolkwagi no yahi she Valentina Klitso in she todich eat ni snido but ahi bashish chin to khana ada she che she heda shenale do hehet na hidini do di kwagi na kego di the nebich e kent la na danzani Nana bekina hudi ni ko eshi is count atol ni kilch strada ol kilo hatno e bahane ko you see here so welcome to each and every one of you for joining us this morning, and I know many of you have traveled far to be with us this morning, some over 2 hours, and I'm just very happy to welcome you here to our 71st Miss Navajo Nation pageant. My name is Valentina Klitso, and I am your current Miss Navajo Nation. Ako she Valentina Klitso e na she torich eat ni na shnido but ani bashish chin to khana e da she che e she da shanela do zetlejin brate ina sha to banahol yege e she yaho ako e kwagi shinan nishn ti asa na khi is li do dik nana na ke ya il chehi e bananish e do li ako. So we have two incredible young women vying for this title of Miss Navajo Nation, and I'm very happy to say that I'm very proud of these two young ladies. She najono do but not entienda holno do be old ili to ta holno so I'm happy to welcome you all here and excited to be a part of the spectators this year. I know I was a contestant last year, and it was definitely gut-wrenching a few times when I was walking up the stage and just being able to share who I am and what I've known throughout my life to present it to you guys here today, and I know our contestants are looking forward to it as well. So I just want to say welcome, and up next we're going to have our opening prayer, our invocation by former Miss Navajo Nation, Niagara Rockbridge.
Yat Ebene, and good morning to all of you, to those who are here joining us in the audience and to those watching via live stream. Yat Ebene, She ya Niagara Rockbridge in She Kia Ani Nishlish Ganzo Bashichin, Nakadene Dashet She, Tohane Dashanale, Akut Al E ya a son Shle, Shemadosh E Debra Dogeri Rockbridge Olye, and late Salana Telegai Aha Wolye de Unchike. Akon de beg it ba hodzane e ade ona shalo ade esh na leke da hatem ako kot al e ya kon na kidemil da ba an na din sai khahagi do na kidemil da ba an na din na ki khahagi de nebech e ken shlind e Agot out a yard at la ana Pageant Hadia do be shehot is an agot out shananish ishla. A conchi a yard to the zinlinigi a behasti dole. Kudo Jean dole, Shamana Hastan, Chutha Yadil. Hayot Kal, no hodet is no hot sweet chahal yet, Nilchidi in the ne. Dan she ak e hay, Nilchidi in the ne. Conch chehish ale, tish chehish air one. Yorka is Sashima, Sanat Leheshima. Hoth Katnash chin, Toby Yaj, Tadadinish key, Nist Anit ed. Con e yaha, Nihiyaja neatly, Nihitsui neatly. Con e yaha, Najona go Nasco net, Nane Katole, Najona go e yaha con Tadadin a teen, Big echo Nas Nane Katole, Nihit so the Zen don he Nadi ye dole. Ben hit Kahyada hot etole, Najona go e yaha con Nihit. Con e yahan hik ein linigi beth nane katole ad in da con e yaha con na hohen sa nane a hagi kont ad also the nebeke up a ka of hik idin in dole con he as need lon he away need lon con e yaha nasko medi hit sit na ho jon dole ni kede na ho jon dole ni hik na ho jon dole ni ya ge na ho jon dole ni na ge na ho jon dole ni zalata ho jon dole na jana go al toje ni hit ho jon dole ho jon hasli ho jon hasli ho jon hasli ho jon hasli. Thank you, and may you all enjoy today's event.
Shema Ado current Miss Navajo and hitch I can't then get to a quite hitch a hind ziki but he needs and don't know kunzacha a hitch I can't know in the whole just go his car e oh she has tried to get the has cans of quite and lengi I thought we could not at all I don't sort of in bed haha or ziki no flashy I thought Nikit sort of in that this been that how your car be get your edo here in Chicago but not she da aku iliando da net indo de chikedo shit na di kwat so dezen beha o zigi hala e yahin khalchinen lingi kodo e bahaske ado e yah e jo ba ins and la na ins and eat oh jo kwa e khana ajko e hya do de. Thank you again for the wonderful prayer. Many of you probably already started your early mornings with a prayer this morning. We appreciate that. The really unique thing about this competition over the past 3 days or the past couple of days this week is every section of the competition we've been beginning and ending with a prayer, really to strengthen not just the two young ladies that are vying for the office of Miss Navajo, the title of Miss Navajo, but also for our up and coming royalty, our younger generation, to ensure that they do follow in that same path as well. It really in paying homage to our elders as they prayed for us many years ago. So with that said, I want to say thank you again for the opening prayer and also the welcome address. I want to recognize a couple of individuals in the audience that have been wonderful support system since day one for us. Let's give a round of applause to our current Chief Justice, Ms. Joanne Jane. We've also had the Honorable President of the Navajo Nation, Ms. Dr. Bu Nigern, at our opening ceremonies on Monday morning, and also the Vice President as well. Also, we had the honor of having the current Speaker of the Navajo Nation Council, my daughter, should sit in Lingi, Crystalline Curley, her and Shundeen Parrish, the Chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee. They coordinated the opening morning, the butchering contest. So let's give them a round of applause as well for being here with us. It speaks volumes when you have the three top chief branches supporting an organization of this magnitude. So Carletta, you and your shop, I feel like you're in good hands moving forward, and more so the incoming Miss Navajo Nation as well. So thank you for your leadership. Supreme Court Justice at the mall biskanda kahol jijan ta aita in kesta adon ke Washington laj das kagi to Dr. Bu Nigern do shama shinalen lo Montoya Vice President Montoya Adon Kitlahaz Trande ado besh bahas anya yaltki to should sit in lo Adon Kitlo na hashij ko eba hehnit in shik Ado shidne ado kuna a special guest of royalties. We have some royalty, Miss Nala Nelson. Can you please stand up? She has been with us since day one. She was our official timer on Monday morning, and I believe she will be our timer again today, right? Running around with the time clock. So she'll be holding the signs up, telling the contestants and you as well how much time they have left in their presentation and their responses. So thank you, Nala. She is Miss Kienta Middle School. We also have another royalty in the front. I'm sorry I didn't get the name, but we'll give her some time to introduce herself a little later. But you can stand up and we'll give you a round of applause. I don't think we have any others, but as we move forward in the agenda this morning, we'll definitely give them some time at some point to introduce themselves. So, a very important task we have here. We have Miss Elfrida Lee, Senior Auditor with the Office of the Auditor General. She's sitting right up front. She has also been with us since day one, and she is our official tabulator. Elfrida Lee, Office of the Auditor General. So with that said, I turn the floor over to our judges. They all are mic'd up. We're going to give them the floor to have them introduce themselves. So we'll start with judge number 1, 2, and 3, and we'll proceed from there.
So Skikbash, Aniad Chigik, Sistine Lewis, Aniad Ang Akmaratam Jivid, Aniad Miss Indian Arizona 2022-2023, Any Ji'ad Cecilia Andrews Lewis, Any Agad Newt Lewis Bot, Any Lulu Corrine Anton, Any Baba Manuel Andrews Bot, Any Gaga Carmen Moore, Any Vascott Glenford Butch Lewis Senior Bot, and Jacob Moore. So good morning everybody, it's so good to have you here with us. My name is Sistine Lewis. I am the current reigning Miss Indian Arizona 2022-2023, which gives me the honor of representing all the 22 federally recognized tribes here in the state of Arizona. And out of those 22 tribes, I am a member of the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. We are comprised of 2 tribes, which is the Ang Akmaratam and the Ashitam Pipash people. And this is my very first time being here on the Navajo Nation reservation, and I'm so excited and cannot wait to see what's in store. And I'd just like to extend a huge thanks and a huge congratulations to Valentina, the Miss Navajo, as I've gotten the time to travel with her this past year, and just being around her has been such an amazing journey, and seeing how far she's come. And it's kind of bittersweet that she's coming to the end of her reign, but I know she will still represent her people in the best way. And I also like to extend a huge congratulations as well to the 2 contestants vying for this title. I know it's not an easy task to do, especially for this competition, but I applaud them for all their hard work as well as their families, and I wish everybody a safe and happy weekend. Sapo, thank you.
Would you like to go? Yat e bene, she Pauline beta yin she, na kaidina en shle besh bijahi bashishin, kia ani dashache ado Italian dashanale, tojale denasha. Yat A, good morning again. My name is Pauline Abeda, and I'm here today with my husband, Chad Abeda, who I'd like to introduce right away. Yes. My husband and I both provided legal counsel for the position for a few years before transitioning back to Eastern Navajo. I'm currently a school board member for Tojale Community School, where I'm serving in my term. My husband and I have 4 children. We reside in Tojale, New Mexico, and we're both very honored to be here today to help with this organization and to lift the next Miss Navajo Nation. We'd also like to extend our appreciation to Miss Navajo Nation Valentina on an amazing and wish her well in her next endeavor. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you for supporting the Miss Navajo Nation organization. Nahiahat.
Yad e vene, tik e roshidina e, she e amul yaikina she, adona e nishlinigi e kia ani nishlin, Vietnamese e Bashish Chin, Kilkuchini e Dashiche, Vietnamese e Dashinala. Phoenix de Kahashte, Kintia de Nasha. So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out today. My name is Emily Ike, and I am first attendant to Miss Indian Arizona. I come from the community of Wide Ruins. I actually just came from there this morning and was able to see my grandmother. So I've started off my morning perfectly, seeing family and also being able to come out here and serve as a judge today. A little bit about myself. I work as a data analyst for the ASU Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College, and I'm also working on my master's in program evaluation and data analytics. So I love research, and I hope to work for our community, for our nation in the future. And I just want to extend a heartfelt thank you for coming out today. This competition it can get very nerve-wracking. So I really want to say congratulations to the two contestants for, coming out here, being able to showcase their family, their values, and themselves. So I'm really looking forward to getting to know the two contestants. I would also like to say thank you so much to Valentina for inviting us out. As you guys know, this is Sistine's first time coming out, so I'm really, really excited to show her around and try our food, see our dances, meet our people. So thank you so much. I look forward to meeting some of you and talking with you throughout the day.
Thank you, judges. The three beautiful young ladies that are tasked with judging this morning's competition, I feel like they have probably the most difficult task all of our judges over the past couple of days. It's been a grueling competition, some very interesting questions in both in Navajo and in English. So thank you for volunteering your time, ladies, and many good blessings to you and your family, your children, your spouses as well. Thank you for being here with us. I appreciate that. I know the Office of Miss Navajo and the Pageant Committee appreciate your willingness to support here. With that said, we're going to turn the floor over to our contestants, have them introduce themselves, okay? Contestant number one.
Yeah, it's Ebene. Can everybody hear me on the microphone? Okay. Yeah, it's Ebene. Shik Edo, Shedene, Ado, Sha'athne, Ado, Dano Thinigi, She, Ya, Amy, Nas, Barbies, Bigay, Yinish, Ye, Adona, and the Shinigi, but Ahni, Nishlon, Nash, Ed, Baha, Bashish Chin, Hashk on her to her Dashache, Kenya, Ani, Dashanella, and let's coordinate, oh, but clap it, what. Ado said dasa ane den ayisi nasha shamadosh je Odessa Reeves do Leroy Bigay will ye Shamasane Lorraine Reeves will ye Chanela Asan Lily Bigay will ye Shache do Chanela has teen ye Leo Reeves Senior do Henry George Bigay Senior will ye and Ado Chian Azet is inigi business igi ba inishka in Lay Arizona State University. Good morning, everybody. It's nice to see everybody here this morning. My name is Amy Nasba Bigay. I am of the Folded Arms people, born for the Zuni Edgewater people. My maternal grandparents are of the Yucca Fruit Strung Out on a Line people, and my paternal grandparents are of the Towering House people. Today, I am coming to you from the communities of Kayenta, Arizona, Baclapato, New Mexico, and Howell Mesa, Arizona. I am 25 years old. I am the daughter of Odessa Reeves and Leroy Bigay. My maternal grandparents are Lorraine Reeves and the late Leo Reeves Sr. of East Nusbus, Arizona, and Baclapato, New Mexico. My paternal grandparents are Lily Bigay and the late Henry George Bigay Sr. of Howell Mesa, Arizona. I am the older sister of Asan and Elise Bigay. A little bit about me. I am currently a student at Arizona State University right now, with a concentration in medical nutrition, where my hopes are to eventually apply into registered dietitian school, wherever that may be. So those are my hopes and my goals and my dreams that I would like to share with you guys all this morning. Thank you very much for supporting Mylika and I. Thank you.
Contestant number 1. Let's go to contestant number 2. She will come on up and introduce herself as well. Let's give her a round of applause.
Yat shake dos vined, shay milaka jani nishya, not to the ned touchy nishle, nanish desert obaha bashichi, toriti nida to chay, sina de nida snow, torineshik este, do sensi ka teshikant, Shema a Iverna Parish John will ya, do shija a Alvin John will ya, Shema sana asa Heavenly Parish will ya, int sensa des dina int do shiche a Julius Parish will ya, int since he kadi na int Chanela asa a Mary Nash John will ya int do Chanela has team a Sam John will ya int not silly be twelfty na ash int Good morning everyone. Thank you guys for coming. My name is Mylika John. I am 25 years old. I am from Kansas, Arizona as well. I graduated at ASU with a degree in community health and a minor in family and human development. Thank you for coming, and I hope you guys enjoy for today. Thank you.
Thank you again, and let's give both contestants a wonderful round of applause again. They are two individuals that have decided to run for the office of Miss Navajo, the title of Miss Navajo Nation, the 71st annual. We are the 71st annual Miss Navajo Nation competition, not to be mistaken with the 75th annual of the Navajo Nation Fair. In a society of the largest land-based tribe and the largest population tribe in the United States, we only had two individuals that opted to run for this title, so they deserve a lot of credit, a lot of acknowledgement. It's been a very tough week for them, but they've done a wonderful and phenomenal job. And how many of you noticed the similarities between the two of them? Right? Show of hands, how many of you noticed the similarities? They're both from Kienta, right? And they're also both ASU students, graduates. So we're dealing with individuals that are very knowledgeable in today's society. So whoever takes on the next task of being the Miss Navajo Nation, I feel like the office is in good hands. So thank you again to the young ladies for their willingness to compete in today's or the past week's events. I'm going to go over a brief introduction and explanation of the competition today. This morning we will do your contemporary skills. So each contestant will have 10 minutes to do their contemporary skills, and it really refers to all special skills and abilities, hobbies, and interests the contestants may have to develop and to demonstrate her mastery. Example is ability in sports, studies in music or dance, special hobbies ranging from sewing, artwork, or photography. Di ko an hitch I can lingi large she contemporary skills no nes not the haljinja e ba adozo. Ya dish jingi o in liniki ha ishi ya de hodil ziniki do ya liniki ishi kwa en kif ishani do di. And secondly, we're going to move into contemporary attire presentation. They will each have 5 minutes to do their presentation there, and that refers to the contemporary attire chosen and worn by the contestant. And there will be a description of the contemporary attire and provided by the contestants. Ado kone a contemporary attire presentation iklinigi ishlat dahaljin yahi aja banahas ado ha ishi ye hadat anigi yahi khalit a digi idil la ado abi yahodolne kone honanat erole ado taone a contemporary impromptu questions ifne Ashi in hitch I can lingi nabati kidole na kigo. Equa it's at the height Arthur Abigi the door, Neto Ada a na kigo na edikid lingi hidon net. Ashi a coronabito kito not hard zin leco. We will also do a contemporary impromptu question. Each contestant will have 5 minutes to complete that impromptu question. They will randomly choose 2 questions from a basket. Next, we will have the contemporary talent presentation, and that will be a 10-minute presentation. And that refers to all special talents and abilities, projections, personalities displayed, originality of the act and composition of degree of difficulty. A contemporary talent presentation. ya ishi ge te hotel ziniki to tishji gi honetiki do nezna da haljinje bana asotode aro ke de a contemporary platform presentation isla da haljinje hot ya bana asotode aro with the conclusion we will do the contemporary platform presentation. It will be a 5-minute presentation from each of the candidates as well. Just some really basic rules. Each contestant shall provide his or her own material for her performance in each category. Each contestant is allowed 10 minutes for contemporary skills, 5 minutes for the presentations, and we went over all the presentations on that. And only English will be spoken during the duration of the contemporary competition. So those are some of the general house rules, or some of the rules that there will be working with this morning. Just some general house rules for you in the audience. If you have a cell phone, would you please put it on vibrate or mute? If you have to take a conversation or a phone call, please feel free to step outside, because we do have the Navajo Nation TV station here as well. They're broadcasting, and we want to make sure we respect the young ladies. It kind of gets distracting when they're up here asking a question and somebody gets a call. So just keep that in mind. With that said, let's go ahead and get started. What's what we're here for today. We're going to go ahead and introduce contestant number 1 to do her contemporary skills. Again, we do have a timer right up front, the young lady, the beautiful young lady, and she will be given 10 minutes once she starts. Contestant number 1.
Okay, good morning everybody. For my contemporary skills, I wanted to share with you all a little bit about my program and what I'm going into. As I mentioned before, I am a student at Arizona State University where I have a concentration in medical nutrition. For those of you who do not know what medical nutrition is, it's kind of like the stepping stone when you want to become a physical therapist. You want to become a doctor, a physician assistant, or even a registered dietitian. And so during these 2 years of my program, I get to concentrate on something I'm very passionate about. And for me, I am very passionate about our nutrition here for Native Americans. And I chose this passion because I grew up in a home to where my grandparents were heavily diabetic on both sides of my family. So I wanted to be that change, and also I wanted to educate our young people and also our elderly here today. And so the topic that I am also passionate about is gestational nutrition. Gestational nutrition, I became aware of the topic when I did an externship at Tuba City Regional Healthcare Corporation in Tuba City, to where I was partnered with a registered dietitian, and she taught me so many different skills on how to speak to our mothers who are currently experiencing gestational diabetes. So I sat in with every single class, and with that I gathered every information, basic information that a mother should receive when she is first diagnosed with gestational diabetes. So first here, I will start with our pregnancy needs for our mothers. So of course I am not a mother just yet, but of the things that I was taught was first, you want to be protein efficient. You want to have iron, folic acid, iodine, potassium, calcium, and fiber. So these are more of the minerals that you need throughout your pregnancy, so that way your child is able to develop very healthy, and also you won't have any complications after your child is born, such as they won't have ADHD, or they won't have gestational diabetes when they are born. And so the next thing that I want to discuss as well is macronutrients. So macronutrients, to simplify the term, is basically just your protein, iron, and your folic acids. So those are the things are the foods that we eat. So macronutrients, if you look in back of everything you eat, it will specify how many of these fibers you are intaking. So for our mothers, you want to consume about 20% of protein, 40% of fats, and 40% of your carbohydrates. So a few examples that I just decided to throw in there are fortified cereals. Basically, it's just all about, our everyday cereals that you want to eat. And also your bread and your pasta, your peanuts, your leafy greens, and another one that I didn't specify was our fruits. And also, since I want to become a registered dietitian here in the Navajo Nation, I want to continue my studies to learn more about of ways that we can incorporate our traditional foods, such as our squash, our corn, our blue corn mush, our chieftain. So of those things, scientists have come to find out that these are really more of the foods that we should be eating. And also, another thing is you want to include 6 to 8 200 milliliter glasses of water. But if water, sometimes you don't want to consume a little bit too much water. So with that, you can incorporate juice, such as orange juice, apple juice, cranberry juice. And with that, you want to include smoothies and, of course, water. And one of the last things is, with gestational diabetes, is you want to make sure you are exercising every single day. So when you're exercising every single day, you want to be exercising for at least 30 to 60 minutes a day. And when you're exercising, you want to do aerobic exercising. So aerobic exercising is basically, it doesn't have to be too difficult, as long as you're moving your arms around and you are moving your body and you want to get your heart rate going. And so with that, a few activities you can do are lifting weights. You want to run, even yoga, even doing Zumba. So just little activity to get your heart moving. That's what our registered dietitians, and that's what your family healthcare wants to see. And so all of these things are our priority as a healthcare physician. Is our main priority is you want to have a healthy baby. You want to be able to give all of these things, so that way you are able to bring home a healthy baby. And of course, our mothers as well. Our mothers are the ones that we really want to focus on. And the last one, of course, is we want to lower the gestational diabetes across Native America, because as we all know, gestational diabetes is at a fast incline. So these are some of the basic needs that I wanted to share with you all this morning. Thank you very much.
Great job. Let's give her another round of applause. Very informational. Thank you. Let's welcome up contestant number 2. And I know it's a little chilly on this side here, but believe me, you will appreciate it this afternoon. We were here earlier this week and it was a little tough to deal with. But as we're welcoming up contestant number 2, I want to acknowledge our chairperson of the Budget and Finance Committee, the great, wonderful Shamushandine Parish. The current Navajo Nation Council, Navajo Nation leadership has really embarked upon some great times. We've been mentioning all this week is we have some strong women leaders that have really stepped up to the forefront. We have our first Navajo Nation Vice President, who's a female. We have a Chief Justice female. We also have Budget and Finance Committee Chair. We have a first Navajo Nation female speaker. So the women stronghold of our community are really stepping up to the plate. So let's give them a round of applause and a thank you. And this is not contestant 2. It's Carletta. But I'd like to introduce Deshandria D, Miss Northern Navajo Teen, 2022-23. Can we have you stand up? Also, Destiny Touchin, Miss Gallup Intertribal Indian Ceremonial Queen. Hayden Klitzo, Miss Senior Northern Navajo Native American Princess. And with that, we're going to welcome up contestant number 2. Make your way on up, and she will have an assistant as well to help her with the presentation this morning. And so thank you again for being with us. Thank you for your support. We're looking forward to contestant number 2's presentation, and we will proceed thereafter with other portions of the agenda as well. So contestant number 2, come on up.
Morning, my name is Mylika John. For my contemporary talent, for my contemporary skill, I decided to do the Navajo Nation flag because in one way it helped me understand my culture, my history, and our way of life. Okay, so for the flag, the representation of the rainbow represents who we are, and it represents as far as our sovereignty as our nation and who we are as people, as well as it is used to protect us and guide and protects us throughout the reservation, and also it represents the restoration of harmony and balance that within our culture. So that's what the rainbow represents. And then also the flag was created on May 21st, 1968. It was created by an artist named J.R.D. Grote. He was from Marina Lake, New Mexico, and for the representation of the flag, to him it represented the sand painting. So this is the flag, what to him it represented, and he wanted to incorporate the flag of our culture and who we are in our way of life. Okay, and underneath the flag are the 4 sacred mountains, and the directions that it starts from is from east, south, west, and north. For the White Mountain is called Cisnajin, and it is white because it represents Hail's which means the early dawn. It also represents the Nsahakis, which is thinking in one of our teachings. And for the deity that represents the White Mountain is White Shell Woman. Moving on to the south is blue, which is Dok Osli or Zodzid, and that represents the deity of Turquoise Woman. And it is blue because it represents during the day, like around noontime. And the teaching for that is the planning stage of one of our teaching. And to the south, or to the south is yellow, which is representing to the white, or to the yellow, it represents yellow corn woman, and that represents the teaching of the teaching of that represents life, Ina, and that mountain is called Debensa, or Dok Oslid, which is found in Flagstaff, New Mexico. And to the one that's sitting on north is the Black Mountain, which is called Cisnajine, or Debensa, excuse me, Debensa, which that is black because it represents Blackjack Night Woman, and it's black because it represents the night that occurs at the end of the day. And one of the teachings that goes along with it is Siyasen, which is hope. And in the darker brown part of the square represents the original land that was made for us with that treaty of 1868. In that treaty, this is how much space was actually given to us when we first were trying to get back within our nation. And for the tan representation of the land boundaries, that is where our Navajo Nation sits now, and what has been adopted from the dark brown area. And now the land that we have now covers almost 60 million acres of land. And for the white circle represents the sun, which represents how we give harmony and the importance of shining everything and protecting us within our nation as well. And then there are two corn stalks, which represent fertility and stability within our nation. And the tips of the corn stalks represent how we give thanks, and how the tips of the corn stalks are also used for Tadadin as we pray. And one of the three main stable economic developments that we use within our nation is the food as well as the industries, and with corn and the sawmill and oil. So with the sheep at the bottom underneath the sawmill represents one of the main animals that we use within our culture, and how we promote our teachings and our values of who we are. So the sheep is one of the main factors of who we are as well. And then in the middle is a sawmill. Sawmill and oil, those are another two main things that goes on within our economic development, and which has helped us create stability and more development within our communities and across the reservation as well. And then on the top, left two, is a representation of the industries that have came onto our reservations to help develop and bring more different type of communities and companies, and also with the development of our economy as well. And then to the left and right between the sawmill is a traditional hogan and a modern hogan. So I know on the reservation, people will see the traditional hogan as well as the modern hogan. And in traditional hogan, it is used for how we used to live traditionally in our way of life, and how there was also a traditional hogan for a female, and as well as one for a male. And then to the right was the modern home, which is now what many of us live in, which is either a trailer or we live in homes as well. So that's where I know with the modern homes is where most of us, we receive water and electricity, and how we live our way of life now. And at the top represents the sun, as I said. And this is my presentation for the Navajo Nation flag. Thank you.
Thank you again, contestant number 2. Let's give her another round of applause. 2 very diverse presentations. Took a lot of work and effort to do something like that, again, in front of a crowd of this magnitude. And then also the online viewers as well. We've been talking and acknowledging the fact that the Office of Miss Navajo has done a wonderful job to elevate the office and also this pageant to now to be a world-renowned viewer over YouTube and other social media platforms. So for all of our viewers from across the country, across the globe, we welcome you and we thank you for taking part in this. How many of you have been with us since Monday morning? Monday morning. We had a blast Monday morning at the butchering contest. Probably one of the most exciting pageantry across the globe. I don't think you'll ever see anything like that ever again, but it's something that really sets our Miss Navajo Nation pageant apart from other pageantry. So again, thank you for being with us. We had people lining up at 4 o'clock in the morning over at the pavilion out here. So again, a great job to Shunding Parish and Speaker of Navajo Nation Council, Crystalline Curley, for putting on that event. Each competition is being sponsored by other different individuals. So they come up with their own platform, their own ways of running the competition, and each individual, each contestant sponsors have done a great job up to this point. So thank you again. And this event would not be possible without our sponsors. So I want to take a couple of minutes as the young ladies prepare for their next round to acknowledge our sponsors for the 71st annual Miss Navajo Nation pageant. We like to thank the Office of the Speaker, Crystalline Curley, and the 25th Navajo Nation Council. Thank you for your support. Also, Navajo Nation Shopping Centers Incorporated. Additionally, Dr. Boo Nygren, President Dr. Boo Nygren, and the Office of the President and Vice President. We would like to also thank Navajo Nation Oil and Gas Company. Also, United Mine Workers of America, and also Navajo Parks and Recreation for their generous contribution. Also, we would like to thank Navajo Arts and Craft Enterprises, Mr. J.T. Willie and his staff over at Arts and Craft. They've been gifting, donating some gifts for some of our sponsors as well, so thank you for that. We'd also like to thank Choice Wireless NTUA, Navajo Engineering Construction Authority, Staff Development and Training Department within the Navajo Nation, and of course the Navajo Nation Fair Office. Thank you for your support as well. We'd also like to thank the Navajo Nation Fleet Management for their contribution to this wonderful event, and of course Navajo Tribal Utility Authority for donating to this event as well. We'd like to also thank Diné Protection Agency Services, Navajo Transitional Energy Company. We had some representatives from that organization here yesterday as well. Also, Navajo Agricultural Product Industry, Bashes, our neighbor right next door, who's been a wonderful contributor to this event as well. We'd also like to thank Navajo Spirits, Cellular One, First Things First, the Navajo Times. Thank you for your contribution, also for the coverage of not only the 71st annual Miss Navajo Nation pageant, but also the 75th annual Navajo Nation Fair. They've done a wonderful job. We'd also like to thank Cody Artists and Debbie J. and Kizzy family. So thank you again to all of our wonderful sponsors. Let's give them a round of applause. With that, we're ready for the next round of our competition. The contemporary attire presentation. Again, we have a 5-minute window here. Let's welcome up contestant number 1.
Today for my contemporary attire, I will be wearing a long green dress that my sisters and I chose at a small boutique shop. The layout of the dress consists of a V neckline with short puff sleeves, and towards the bottom of the dress are multiple gathered tiers. To complement my dress, I decided to wear my grandmother's silver belt that was gifted to my mom on the day of her Navajo wedding, and it now serves as an heirloom to my younger sisters and me. The necklace that I am wearing today consists of pink spiny oyster stones and white limestones, along with a simple heart at the beginning of my necklace, which was gifted to me by my cousin. And she has a small business called Nihistan, and I am very thankful for my necklace. The necklace is considered another family heirloom on my mother's side, where my family and I share the jewelry. My attire that I chose to wear today resembles simplicity and casualness of my everyday wear. Thank you.
Okay, she will remain up here for her impromptu questions. We will have Miss Carletta Benali bring up a basket for the presentation for the questions that she will choose randomly. So give us a couple of minutes. She's collecting the questions, and we will go from there. You will randomly select 2 questions. I will read them to you, and you will have a couple of 5 minutes to respond. We got to give Carletta some acknowledgement here. She's done a wonderful job. 2 or just 1? Okay, the first question, and you have 5 minutes to respond. Okay, Miss Navajo Nation meets with many different people from all over the world. How would you describe your community and the Navajo Nation?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Okay.
Thank you.
Miss Navajo Nation meets with many different people from all over the world. How would you describe your community and the Navajo Nation?
Can I step on? Okay. I do understand that Miss Navajo Nation does have the responsibility of traveling across the United States of America and also throughout the Navajo Nation. In the beginning, I did mention that I come from the communities of Kayenta, Arizona, and Baclapatu, New Mexico. Those are my 2 communities, and when I travel, if I am selected as Miss Navajo Nation, when I do meet other dignitaries and officials, I would describe my community of Kayenta as my first home. And it is also one of the communities that is near one of the 7 wonders of the world. And Kayenta, Arizona is where my family built their home. That is where my grandma and my Che decided to relocate for work purposes. But also Kayenta is also a beautiful landscape area that is just at the bottom of Black Mesa, Arizona. And that is where I attended elementary school all the way to when I graduated high school. And the second community I would represent, or that I would let them know, is the little community of Baclapatu, New Mexico. Baclapatu, New Mexico, of those of you who do not know where it is located, it is in between Tisnaspas, Arizona, and Shiprock, New Mexico. It is right on the right side of the Navajo reservation near the borderline, and that is where my Che grew up from a little boy to when he to his burial place. And so I would let others know that that is where I am originally from. That is where I call home, and those are the 2 communities that I would love to represent. Thank you.
Thank you. You have one more question to draw? And I have one more question to read. Okay. What does Miss Navajo Nation symbolize to you?
Okay. Miss Navajo Nation, she symbolizes so much to me. I grew up knowing who Miss Navajo Nation was, but I truly did not know the meaning of Miss Navajo Nation until I got older. Miss Navajo Nation, to me, she is a mother, she is my sister, she is my aunt, she is everything to us, and we look up to her. Miss Navajo Nation, of course, she does symbolize changing woman. Yothgayastan, Otto, our First Lady. She represents so much, but to me, when I look at our former Miss Navajo Nations and ours currently today, she is our symbolism of hope. She is our symbolism of virtue, purity, and also she is one of the most strongest ladies that I personally know. And Miss Navajo Nation, I will continue to look up to her after this pageant, and I have learned so much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Those will be the 2 questions for the contemporary impromptu question. With that, we will move on to contestant number 2 for her presentation as well. So contestant number 2, would you please make your way on up?
Hello, my name is Mylika John. I am Tobacco People and Red Running into the Water Clan. I am born for Zuni People and Water Edge Clan. My maternal grandfather's clan is Bitter Water Clan. My paternal grandfather's clan is Blackstreet Wood People Clan. For my contemporary dress, I have a long, elegant teal green dress. The material of this dress is satin and silk. This dress reminds me of my teal Pendleton blanket, which is one of my favorite colors. This also reminds me of the ocean because it's relaxing and calming. I love spending time in the ocean because it brings such cleansing for my body and mind. The waves flowing and the sun shining on me. Teal green represents communication and clarity, which are some of my values that I incorporate every day. I have rose gold high heels, which have a clear, translucent material on the heels. I chose to wear these heels because I like the translucent heels. Why? They aren't easy to find. They're the most comfortable heels I could wear. Rose gold is a unique color which shines throughout the daylight. I am wearing earrings that were gifted from my dad on my birthday last year. I didn't know on my birthday I was going to receive a pair of earrings since I like spending time with my family and friends the most. For my jewelry, I like to wear teardrop earrings because it dangles and it reminds me of dancing little people. My necklace is gold and I chose to wear it because it is another type of material that I would want to wear with my outfit for today. I like gold because it also reminds me of the sun, which brings warm and it feels good. So for gold, gives me that same type of feeling as well. I'm wearing these pieces because they are both unique and the type of jewelry I value. This is the outfit I wanted to share. Thank you for hearing my story.
Got to call her back. She's in a rush to get off stage. All right, you get to choose 2 questions as well. Let's pick one over here from this basket. Contestant number 2.
Okay.
Okay, question for contestant number 2, the first. The Navajo Nation has had many great leaders from generation to generation. Is there one that you admire most and why?
When it comes to the Navajo Nation, one of the many great leaders that I looked up to and who was a role model and inspiration to me, I would say would be President Myron Lesser, because he did a fantastic job of our government in handling all of the stuff that was going on during his reign, such as within our economic development and with a lot of governmental things such as the laws and making understanding of our government. And with that, he also showed and helped us with incorporating our cultural teachings and values and who we are. He also helped us bring more funding to our education, our financial resources, and also our food and development on the reservation as well. Thank you.
Okay, she gets to pick another question. There you go. And the last question is, what does being a modern day Navajo woman mean to you?
When it means to become a modern Navajo woman, it includes many of incorporating who you are as a woman, such as our cultural teachings and our values as females, as well as our modern, such as incorporating a lot of the stuff that are now as a woman we have to use, such as with our education, learning to develop our education and learning to aim to have higher goals and setting expectations for ourselves, but as well as incorporating who we are with our knowledge and with our teachings as cultural teachings, such as with praying, and then with also with who we are and wearing our traditional attires and understanding the meanings of what we wear and why we wear it, as well as understanding the importance of being a woman and how impactful we make and how strong we make it, and being a role model to those who are younger and older to us as well, and we're being respectful as a woman to those and everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 2. You may be excused. Okay, let's give them both another round of applause. And thank you to the judges for some awesome questions. Let's give the judges a round of applause. I almost feel like maybe that's a question they pull from some of their pageants that they participated in. Am I correct? No? But thank you again for the wonderful questions. We'd like to acknowledge some of our pageant volunteers. This whole pageant has been run by sponsors, and probably one of the hardest working individuals are the volunteers, individuals that are contributing to this event, not expecting any compensation. We want to acknowledge them, thank them for their wonderful work. Niagara Rock Bridge, where's Niagara at? She's way back here, she's in the back. Let's give her a round of applause. There you go. She's been behind the scenes from day one as well. Deborah Rockbridge, are you here, Deborah? If you can, if you are, way in the back. Thank you, Deborah, for your contribution. Gary Rockbridge, is Gary here? Way in the back as well. Look at that, they're wearing matching shirts, nice. What about Sydney Davis? Sydney Davis, are you here? Let's give her a round of applause as well. Oshkalia Ironshell, I believe, is out running errands somewhere. She's also another volunteer. She back there? Way back there. Okay, come in the back. Thank you, Oshkalia. Tanette Martin. Is Tanette Martin around? She was back here yesterday serving people. So thank you, Tanette, for your wonderful work as well. Iveen Bahi. Is Iveen Bahi here? Way in the back. Okay. What about Trey DeHosey? Trey DeHosey, he's back here as well. Nathaniel DeHosey. Nathaniel DeHosey. Devin DeHosey. And Virgil DeHosey. Thank you for those individuals that contributed and volunteered their time. Also, Shami Hosky. Is Shami here? Probably running errands, okay. Hoshonye La Davis. She's a minor. Wonderful work that she's done this week as well. Alicia Minigoats. What about Alicia Minigoats? Let's give them a round of applause as well. And the last three, Jeff Bennett, Joshua Jacob George, and Officer Juliano Bigay. Let's give them a round of applause. Again, those are the individuals that volunteered their time throughout the week and have been with us from day one. And we've had wonderful royalty that have been put on the spot and asked to assist in any way as well. Let's give the royalty a round of applause as well, too. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move into contemporary talent presentation. The same format. We're going to welcome up contestant number 1. She will do her presentation, and then we will ask, I believe, another impromptu question. Okay? Contemporary, contestant number 1. Contestant number 1.
Hello, good morning, everybody again. For my contemporary talent today, I just wanted to show you just a little thing that I like to do on my downtime. When I moved to Utah for the past 6 years, when I was attending school, I became really active with a lot of the Native American clubs. But one of them that I was constantly invited to was the Pacific Islanders Club, and that's where I met my best friend. My best friend, she taught me the values and also the teachings of behind the ukulele, and so she began teaching me just little songs here and there. But one of the songs today is the one that I first learned with her, and I hope you guys enjoy. I'm a little rusty, but thank you. And the song I will be performing is called "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." Thank you. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Oh, why can't I see? Thank you very much for my little piece. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you again. Let's give her another round of applause for her wonderful presentation. We will keep her on stage so she can do her platform presentation, and she will have 5 minutes for that as well.
Okay. Okay. For my platform this year, I thought very hard of what I wanted to share as a contestant of Miss Navajo Nation. My platform that I would like to share with you all today is, if I were to become the next Miss Navajo Nation, the 3 values that I would love to share with you all are: first, the power of kinship, the power and the values of friendship, family, and also lastly is the value of higher education. So these 3 things, these 3 values that I just mentioned are the 3 values are how I grew up within my home. These 3 values were taught to me at a very such young age, since the cradle board. It came from my late grandfather, Leo. Sorry. So these 3 things are what my younger sisters and I grew up on. He constantly drilled us every single day. Sorry. And those are the 3 things that, if I were to become Miss Navajo Nation, those 3 things are who I am today, and what I deeply and strongly am passionate about, and what I would love to share with our youth here on the Navajo reservation, here on the Navajo Nation. I truly wanted to express these 3 values is because, in my eyes, our young people are in dire need of these values within our home, because not all of our children are blessed with the capabilities of families who are able to teach these values. And so with me, if I were to become Miss Navajo Nation, my platform were to be to really exemplify these 3 values, because that is who I am. That makes me Amy. That's what makes me unique. And so that is my platform that I would love to share with you guys all today. Thank you.
Thank you again, contestant number 1. You may be excused. Thank you so much for your presentation. Let's give her another round of applause. As we prepare for contestant number 2, I wanted to acknowledge also, we have the Honorable Vice President of the Navajo Nation, Rochelle Montoya. Can you please stand? Shema. Again, she's one that has been with us since day 1, like other delegates and also the Chief Justice. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it, and God bless you and your family as well. We also have the Honorable Delegate from the local area, Dr. Andy Nez. Would you please stand? They had their hands full this week with budget session, and apparently they've made some monumental strides, adopted a Navajo Nation budget in 3.5 hours, right? So we were teasing them. We said, you set the platform pretty high now. Now you got to do that every year, the next couple of years. So we don't expect these budget sessions to be drawn out, okay? No, but thank you for your work as well, and thank you for your support. If you were here Monday morning for the butchering, did you guys see Dr. Andy Nez, right? He was holding the sheep fat, him and Stephen Arviso, another delegate. So it was really nice to see them take part in that. We really appreciate that. So thank you, Dr. Nez. We appreciate that as well. The Office of Miss Navajo would like to do an acknowledgement. Do we have the Office of Miss Navajo Nation to come on up to do a brief acknowledgement? Carletta, is that your area? But what did you guys think about the morning session, the contemporary presentation? Great work, right? Really nice. We have some very talented young ladies, young kids on stage, up and coming, and across the country as well. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Carletta to do a little acknowledgement, and then we will proceed with the final leg of our contemporary talent presentation and platform presentation for contestant number 2.
yat a yat la kodon kano kai kon zatching his hanotla. She Carletta Benali hunchia, nanish as a touchy ninchle, hanani, but this is chain, this chain, this is chain, a shade, the chanella. I look at that, the taught the what's Miss Navajo Nation Pageant, what's coordinate ishla. Ado kodo you the Neshaka EJ besota, his Nelly besota, quacha those in Ado. Dito, Navajo Nation TV and film, when most of you probably saw the video tip that was on Facebook that introduced our contestants. They're the department, or they're the team that actually helped us put it together for us. And then for Navajo, I'd like to acknowledge Navajo Arts and Craft. Mr. J.T. Willie, the CEO, approached me back in February of this year and asked me, what do we need assistance with when it comes to the pageant? And it's been a while since we've had NACE involved, and it was really great to hear their very respectful and interest in working with us again. And one of the things that they have provided for us today is the stage decoration. So thank you to Mr. J.T. Willie and his awesome team. You know, Kobe, Tom, Eli. So thank you to them. We were able to have this beautiful decoration. And also, they also provided 2 truckloads of wood for us on Monday for the sheep butchering and the traditional food competition. And then they also, today and throughout this whole pageant, for all our judges, they have been providing the judges' gift basket for us. And I know you guys are going to love this. I almost want to be a judge right now. But you're going to enjoy it. I hope you are pleasantly surprised. And then I also like to thank Navajo Nation Shopping Center Incorporated. They have helped us, not just through this pageant, but through the year. They have been a tremendous help for us. They provided the chairs that you guys are sitting on, so I just want to say thank you to them. They provided all the marquee advertisements and signs for our pageant. Again, throughout the year, they even bought us a Christmas tree, so we don't even have funds for that, so really appreciative of that. So I have a great team, I have a great support, and I really do appreciate it. I appreciate our leadership support. President Dr. Blue Nygren, his tremendous support since January. So I know it was a huge transition that we have made. I know it was a huge transition for Valentina, because she came in under former President Jonathan Nez, and then we transitioned to now our President, Dr. Blue Nygren. So this year, it's been a bit of a challenge, and I think we rose to the occasion on each of them. And we have such a great support system from our leaders. So please thank them for us when you come across them, as well as our Vice President, Rochelle Montoya, who is here with us. And thank you, Shanandai Konyashundla. I'd like for you guys to always acknowledge our Madam Chief Justice. She's a great supporter of our pageant. There's one year she actually was one of our event coordinators. So thank you, Madam Chief Justice, for being here as well. And thank you for presenting our Reigning Miss Navajo a wonderful gift yesterday, on Wednesday. So thank you. And then last but not least, I'd really like to acknowledge our legislative branch. Madam Speaker, Crystalline Curley. I am so proud and I'm so appreciative of her involvement. I just asked her once if she could help coordinate the sheep butchering competition, and she just said yes. It's like, let me handle it. That's what she told me, so she did. And I hope you got to enjoy that on Monday. And then she picked an excellent co-coordinator. Of course, our former Miss Navajo Nation, Shundeen Parish, now Honorable Delegate, Council Delegate of Kayenta, Chiltipato, and Monument Valley. Dana Hudson, I'm sorry. So, see, she's still correcting me. So she's here with us today, so I really appreciate all of our 3-branch leadership, and I'd really like for our contestants and all the audience that without their support, we wouldn't be having this. And again, I'd like to say thank you to our contestants, our 2 wonderful contestants. You know, we wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be having any discussions about this pageant, about how many contestants we have or don't have. You know, we wouldn't be having this conversation if we didn't have any contestants. So I just like to thank the brave young ladies that have been able to be with us here all week. And one of them is going to be our next Miss Navajo Nation. And then I also like to say thank you to our reigning Miss Navajo Nation, Valentina Klitzo. We promise not to cry. Just might fail you on that. This year, it's been really great, you know, the transition that I told you about, that included the opening back of the Navajo Nation. So when that happened, we were able to just be everywhere. And we had a lot of fun doing that, you know, and we concentrated on serving the people, being with our people, and just showing the best lifestyle that you can live, you know, and living your best Navajo life. And what a great example she has been for us all year. You know, we're up and early in the morning, getting on the road about 5 o'clock in the morning, finishing up our day until close to about 11 o'clock, sometimes even 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and still find a way to carry through the day, the next day, you know, the next week into the next month. And it was funny because she actually told me, she goes, I don't think Miss Navajo Nation's supposed to have this much fun. And we did. We honestly did. So I hope you got to share that. And everything that we did, we shared it with you. And there's a lot of things that we didn't share with you. You know, there's places that we couldn't show you pictures of. You know, all the elders' home that we visited, all the children's, the school organizations, certain schools didn't permit us to share photos with you guys. So we had to protect their privacy. So what you saw on Facebook is probably about a good 15% of our work, and then the rest, due to privacy, we didn't feature those with you guys in it. But I think we serve all of the Navajo Nation people under her reign. So I really hope you had a chance to look at our Facebook. I hope you have a chance to look at all the things that she has accomplished, and just tell her thank you. Thank you for being a wonderful Miss Navajo Nation. And I am so privileged to have been the person to actually have mentored and traveled with and be with Miss Navajo Nation. You know, it started with Shundeen. She represented us for 2 years as Miss Navajo Nation. And then it continued on with Niagara Rockbridge, who is here helping me chaperone our contestants. And what a great example she has been for us as well. And now I have Valentina. So thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your wonderful words, Carletta, and also your wonderful work that you're doing for the Office of Miss Navajo. Let's welcome up contestant number 2 for her contemporary talent presentation. And as soon as she's done with that, she will remain on stage for her platform presentation as well. So come on up. Again, your contemporary talent presentation, you have 5 minutes, and platform presentation 5 minutes as well right after.
Good morning, everyone.
Actually, correction, contemporary talent presentation, 10 minutes, I apologize. So your first presentation, you have 10 minutes, and then 5 minutes for the platform presentation.
How is everyone doing? Good. Okay, my name is Mylika John, and for my contemporary talent, I'm going to show one of my artistic skills, which is painting. And I started painting when I was 7 years old. I got taught by my father, who is an artist. His name is Alvin John. And that family, we come from many artists, such as my uncle David K. John. So we like to do art and everything. When it comes to art, I like doing my art because it's very expressive. I get to express myself, my ideas, and creativity. I also get to incorporate many colors, and one way I like to show my culture is through painting, and that's where I'm able to show and display our culture and explain and also teach others as well. When it comes to painting, I like to use many different colors because it helps me create and build new ideas and incorporate many different techniques and colors as well. For the colors today, I chose red, yellow, green, and white. I chose these colors because I feel like they would go with my background, which is turquoise. And when I chose this turquoise, I realized that I wanted to choose that because it's part of our culture, and we wear turquoise when we wear with our jewelry, and it also is a representation of who we are, and it is shown to protect us, and it's one of our sacred colors that is used in how we identify ourselves as well. Okay, so right now I'm going to put some paint on white on my palette. When it comes to painting, I like to incorporate colors, so I will be mixing the white with the yellow. Excuse me, I got the wrong brush. Okay, so I'll be mixing the white with the yellow, and when it comes to what I want us to draw, I decided that I wanted to draw flowers. I wanted to draw yellow flowers because I like the color yellow. It's something that's bright. It's something that makes you feel good, especially when you go out and you feel the sun on you. So it's a good type of feeling that you feel when you're out, and it keeps you feeling positive, and it keeps you with a clear mind. So that's why I chose yellow, and I'm incorporating white too as well because I feel like the yellow that I chose was a little too bright. So I'm just going to incorporate the white to make the yellow a nice soft color. Yeah, when it comes to art, there are many different type of ways you can use your brush and how you use your brush, as well as what technique you will use. So for the technique that I'm going to be using is just a little bit of stippling and a little bit of the pressing on the paint and just letting my brush glide off of the paint. That way it gives that type of it gives that thickness of the paint on when I put my brush on the canvas. So with art, I encourage a lot of everyone, younger, older, I encourage everyone to at least try something new. And for me, I would encourage people to encourage painting and just exploring with the canvas, exploring with colors, and really trying out new things because it helps you do something different. It pushes you outside of your comfort zone. It helps you release whatever you may be going through, whether it's from like work. You just take a brush, you pick whatever color you want to pick, and you just do what you want to do and feel whatever you want to draw, or however you want to draw it as well. So for me, when it comes to painting, I like painting because it's something that I can express, and it's something that takes my mind away from work, takes my mind away from my school, things like that, and it just allows me to do what I want and incorporate different many colors, different type of techniques. And with canvases, you can also add texture to it, where you can get different type of molding paste on it to give that 3D effect to the canvas. That way it doesn't look like it's flat. Oops, sorry, my microphone got a bit off. But yeah, with painting, it's very good, and it's something that you can do on your own. You don't have, you can look online to see what type of techniques you want to do. You can always take a class if you want to learn something. That way you're keeping yourself busy. And for me, what I like about painting too as well is it keeps that eye-hand coordination with when I put my brush on the paint, on the canvas, and as well as where I want to put everything and how I want to mix my colors. So that's why for me, I like painting, because it allows me to build my eye-hand coordination, as well as learning how to use my brush and learning how to incorporate different colors and how to incorporate those colors. And that's what I like most about painting. I also chose the color red because that's one of my favorite colors. So for red, I'm going to use that as the middle of the flower. And for me, red represents more of like that feeling of love and that feeling of being taken care for. And it's a nice color that brings out a lot of other colors. I don't know. If you can see, it brought out the yellow and it brought out the turquoise as with it. So I'm just putting my brush in between the yellow, making the circles in the middle. Okay. And the next step that I will be using is green. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to dab my brush with a little bit of water just to get off the extra paint. And I brought myself a rag and I brought myself a palette, which is what I use to help with my paint and where I can spread out my colors. And if I want to incorporate like yellow with white, I would put it down right here to mix those colors to make that soft tone yellow, or with the green if I want to make it lighter green or darker green. It's really depending on what colors you choose and what you like. So I'm going to use the green right now to make the stems of the flowers. So that's what I'm incorporating, the green with the white, and it's going to give this color of a light green color compared to a darker green color. I'm just going to add a little bit of the dark green. I'm going to add a little bit of the dark green. The light green didn't really stand out, so I'm just going to go on top and use the dark green. That way it gives that contrasting colors. And that's the thing with colors too, is you can use different type of colors whether you like it and whether you want to try something new. So that's why I like incorporating different colors and using colors that are very contrasting to each other. where it can bring out different type of colors and different type of ways. So that's the fun part with art, is that you can make what you want, and you can use the brush to help you make different type of designs and make different type of techniques. And that's really what I like about doing art, is it takes time away from when I'm busy. I just sometimes sit down and just draw what I feel like I want to draw. Okay, so here's my representation of my yellow flowers with the red stems inside, and then my green, dark green stems on the outside. Okay, here's that for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Another round of applause for contestant number 2. Her contemporary talent presentation. And as we move the easel and she gets ready for her 5-minute platform presentation, we do have an announcement. There is a white Nissan Electra, New Mexico license plate 5414. You're parked on this side. If that's you, we need you to move your vehicle. So please see if you can adjust that if that is your vehicle. It's a Nissan white Electra, New Mexico license plate 5414, okay? With that, we're going to turn the floor back over to contestant number 2 for her platform presentation, and she does have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. If I were to be Miss Navajo, one of the main things I would want is to incorporate more of our culture, our language, our traditions, and who we are. And through that, for me, I use the philosophy of Sa'angnai Hajon, which means to follow the good pathway of harmony and balance, because it's important for us to understand how to use those ideas and morals of who we are traditionally, and also incorporating it as well as with modernization, where technology is heavily influenced, and where when you move away from the reservation, it gets difficult trying to remember who you are, and remember our teachings, remembering our culture, and remembering that we still need to practice these things while we're away, and understanding how to incorporate it between those two different type of worlds. So for me, when I do that, I do praying and I do my art. I do my art by expressing our culture. I draw the tadidin, I draw the cornstalk, I draw the diin, the net. Those are our creators and who we are, and those are the people who have given us these unique talents, our language, our culture, and who we are, and why we do the things we do, why we incorporate those values, such as the 4 sacred mountains that are surrounding us within our reservation, where it keeps us with those traditional teachings of thinking, planning, life, and hope. Those are the main things that we need to incorporate and also keep practicing as well as we move and transition from many us leaving reservation, and as well as coming back, and just using those type of values and ideas every day to help us build who we are, because with those type of things, it'll help you become successful. You will be able to succeed, and you will be able to understand and how to learn our culture and understand our language. And for me, I am taking that step of learning my language, as well as understanding my values and understanding the culture, and understanding why, as a deaf woman, it's important to wear those certain things and understand the values and who we are in the language, because it will help us move forward. It will help everyone understand and unite as one, as we are transitioning with modernization. And for me, with a song Hajon, to live in harmony and balance, that's what is difficult at most, is living in harmony, because I know there are many different type of influences and factors out there that may get you off your track and off of your course. whatever goals and aspirations you have for yourself. So that's where for me, I do praying. It helps me. It helps with my mind, body, and spirit, keeping me aligned with my goals and helping me achieve those things that I can achieve and what I want for myself. So for young people, it's important to understand that and to incorporate it, because setting those type of standards and setting yourself with goals is what is going to help you be successful and as well achieve the things you want to achieve in your life, whether it's getting a new job, a better job, higher paying job, getting a certain way of living, getting a new ride, or even just building yourself a business, becoming a better person, understanding to get rid of bad habits that you need to change for yourself in order for you to grow, develop as you make this transition from young adult to adulthood, or even adulthood from being elderly, understanding those type of values and understanding those type of teachings. So, thank you.
Thank you again, contestant number 2, for your presentation, and thank you each and every one of you. Can we bring contestant number 1 back up if she's up here? Is she around, like nearby? Just stay up here. Stay up here real quick. Hold on. I want to again bring them both back up here for this morning's session. They've both done a wonderful job. I'd like to bring contestant number 1 back up here. But thank you to each and every one of you for your support here this morning. Again, it's no easy feat to be up here in front of people. One, to present. Is contestant number 1 up here yet? No, is she coming up? Okay, go ahead, excuse yourself. But look, I just want to say thank you to the contestants. They've done a wonderful job. I feel like we should continuously advocate and acknowledge them, because it is a difficult task to come up here, ladies and gentlemen. But for them to do it with such grace and such charisma, I love the way they're presenting. They're in the final leg of the presentation. This afternoon they conclude their competitiveness, and then Elfrida has the difficult task of combining all the scores. And we would like to welcome you all back to tomorrow evening, Saturday evening, 6 p.m. right here. Okay, that's when we will have the coronation. So thank you again. I think contestant number 1 was a little busy, but that's okay. I just wanted you all to see them again for this morning's efforts. Let's give them another round of applause. As we wind down our morning session, I'd like to welcome up, I believe it's Carletta. We're going to do a little presentation to our volunteers up front here, the 3 young ladies that are up here. So we do have, actually, let's have the judges come on up. If you guys can come on up. Ashwande. There are stairways here, and also to my left here as well. If you all can please come on up, we sure would appreciate it. The judges have been spoiled this week. And also our leaders. I believe Joanne Jane got a mutton leg, maybe? I know President Nygren got Dr. Boo Nygren, President Dr. Boo Nygren got a backbone Monday morning. So, lucky guy. Also our vice president, and also a speaker as well. They all got some awesome gifts. So we wanted to acknowledge our judges this morning. Judges, come on up. Are they all coming up from this side? Okay, good.
So today we would like to present these gift baskets that have a variety of different kitchenette items. Salt and pepper shakers, some good bowls, and little canteen glass items to each of our judges to really say thank you for volunteering their time and helping us select the next ambassador for the Navajo Nation. And this job is not an easy task to do, as Miss Navajo Nation represents all of us that are here and even those who are watching who may be off the reservation. So this is an appreciation from the Office of Miss Navajo Nation and sponsored by Navajo Arts and Crafts Enterprise. So if we could please give our sponsors a round of applause, and also to our judges.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Right.
Good job, ladies. Thank you again to our judges and also the staff. Navajo Nation or Navajo Arts and Crafts has been donating throughout the week to our judges. Let's give JT Willie and his shop a round of applause. JT Willie was sitting front row in the butchering contest in his bougie Gucci shoes, and he got them all bloody from the butchering. So, if you see him, ask him, say, "Where's your bloody Gucci shoes?" But thank you, no, seriously, to Arts and Crafts for their awesome contribution. It's those kind of incentives that really allow our volunteers to come in and assist, and also our individuals to come up and step to the forefront. So thank you to Navajo Arts and Crafts. With that said, I'd like to turn the floor over to our benediction, or actually presentation to the contestants, right? Come on up, contestant number 1 and 2 again. Let's give them another round of applause. Again, thank you for the wonderful work that they've been doing. It's an amazing, difficult task that they've embarked upon, but we have a little presentation to them as well.
And today we have 2 gifts on behalf of the Office of Miss Navajo Nation. It is comprised of our program supervisor, Carletta Benali, also our office specialist, Ashkayla Ironshell, and we also had an office assistant, Alicia Minigoats, and myself, Miss Navajo Nation 2022 and 2023, and one of these ladies will be filling that position after the final of our contest. So here today we have 2 Iddist scenes here. As you might know, it's known as the stirring sticks, and I just wanted to share a little bit of what this tool culturally represents. The Iddist scene will yehi. There's 7 sticks in the Iddist scene. 1 represents our mom, 1 represents our dad, 1 represents our masane, 1 represents our che, 1 represents our nala issa, our nala hasti, and the final stick, it represents ourselves. So each of these bundles, they represent who we are, the lineage, the knowledge, the teachings that we each carry, and we step into this world with the way that we wake up every morning, and we walk upon Mother Earth, and this is what it is embodied in. And it's embodied in prayers, it's embodied in songs. And in that way, we wanted to gift this to these lovely ladies up here so that they'll have something to protect them throughout their journey as either Miss Navajo Nation or as they go out into this world as the first attendant to Miss Navajo Nation. And I also wanted to share the big task that comes with being the first attendant to a royalty. For any reason, whatever may happen or so forth, if she may have to step down, she will take the place of Miss Navajo Nation. So it's no small task to be the first attendant. So we're gonna also gift them the hairbrush, and on these special tools that we have in our culture, they each have songs and they each have prayers. And throughout this year and the journey that they take in this life, they will continue to add onto their bundle of knowledge. Let's give them another round of applause, contestants.
Great job. Thank you again, contestant number 1, number 2, and our reigning Miss Navajo Nation 2022-2023, Valentina Tlitzo. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, that will, I'd like to introduce my sister to come on up, Miss Abeda, a lady that really deserves no introduction. Many of you probably know her. She's a strong advocate for education, school board member in Tohajile in that small community, and also Her husband was a nominee for vice president of the Navajo Nation in the previous election. Many of you probably know her from that. She's also done a lot of work with the state of New Mexico, advocating for Indian tribes as well. She's going to round us out with a benediction, and thereafter you all will be excused. But we welcome you back at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Mr. James. I'd like to close this events session with a prayer with my husband. And I do this because the home is a balance of both families, both parents. And it's important for our young women to also respect and carry both representations of the male and the female side. So I invited my husband up here today to help me with this prayer and pray for the safety of our contestants, the outgoing Miss Navajo, and to everyone who's here today.
Yate adodan I sot kanido adin khada sokagi she chad beta in shit kubazan as insle chishabashis chin tkullanikis ani dashe as she hate dashanale dish as kubel belas as belkan snani akosod zenia be chin de ilgin di no kudo alkije kisizo e kudo yabe e han kedishnidole kudo she e kisodas in the hallo anike ado adis not agi Facebook live shin kisodas in the hallo kudo shamana hostan she kuidin kitchatra kuyat ehoku e kinala da algadi the morning session hol yegi kude Miss Navajo the nebajike kude e kudo contestant number 1 do contestant number 2 e kudo ke bit kitato e bit talents e get this shanila ko e kudo e begado da ko bense cancer da ko bit khayahot e hunde yat e na astole to da anil skoto ke get khayada hot etole da do huden za de lang khata has ka ku e kinat ani ho e kun kin da has trago hude holjes adolto ku e royalties dan lo ku de get dato da has tra ko e ad shi be betin chedo ad kudo e shi be yat e go nas ko ni nejuna ne kadole kudo yat ashkon and sno kudo e get ahun lo hajda ne kagodo di da ku yat e ho ba ol ta gi do yat e go als ko an leje we yat e dole yat e ho kana ho bana ho di after yat e ho e ben se cancer ben baby ol in that e gi ko ado ko ho e ne bena inskato le kudo e yat e go khade kado sa an raibik e ho jon bekago kudo e gehendes nilo le di bene bi kudo ha shada e na koste kudo e ashmode e yat e dole le he kudo e bo hojna hasli
Keha shadeja do shana ado torzin lingishi benane dahto lel ado snin ado bikit asad bikit has cancer ashi nana do lel. Thank you for the wonderful prayer, Miss Abeda, sister, and also your husband for blessing our concluding our event for today. But again, we welcome you back this afternoon at 1 o'clock for our traditional skills and talent competition. Okay, we will start right at 1 o'clock again. And again, also tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock, the coronation will be here. So this afternoon's competition is the last of the competition. So make sure you come on back, go get your roast mutton, and come on back. Greasy hands. All right. We'll see you in a bit. Take care.
If you will please exit the building after you have said your hellos and things of that nature. Our doors will reopen again at 12:50 p.m. with the traditional skills and talent competition beginning at 1 p.m. Thank you.